السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. ليلة مع أحد الصحابة الكرام سيدنا عقبة ابن عامر الجهني. عقبة ابن عامر الجهني, one of the giants, the friends of the Prophet ﷺ, صحابة الكرام. Uqbah is from قبيلة جهينة, from the tribe of Juhayna, and he used to live in Medina at the time of Hijrah. So everybody was waiting for Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam for Hijrah. When they got the news that he left Mecca, he went out every day. He was trying to wait for Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Uqbah was busy along with a few people. He got the news about the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam and he believed in him and everything, but he was busy with غنيمات له. He was a shepherd, and shepherds had to get the flock and the sheep and stuff, and they go as far as they can. So he was busy with that. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam came. He was received by the people of Medina, and when he got the news, Uqbah got the news that the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam came, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam came to Al-Madinah. He came and he visited the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he said, "Well, I need to give you bay'ah. I need to give you the pledge of allegiance. Give me your hand." He said, "Who are you?" He said, "I'm Uqbah." Introduced himself to Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he gave the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam al-bay'ah, the pledge of allegiance, and accepted Islam in front of the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Bay'ah al-hijrah. He said, "I'm coming like making hijrah for you, migrating for you, leaving everything behind." Because hijrah, the broader thing of hijrah is about abandoning a style of life, abandoning something for something else. He gave the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam al-bay'ah, and then he went back to his flock of sheep and stuff, taking care of them. There were like 12 of them, and they said, well, he suggested this to them, and he said, probably we need to get the knowledge of the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So why don't you guys go? Everybody will take a turn. You go one day, learn from the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and I will take care of your goats and sheep until you come back. And then after a while, he figured out, and he said, "What's going on? What's wrong with me? For the sake of some sheep and goats, I leave the knowledge, I leave the guidance, I leave the Prophet, and that's not fair. That's not the right decision to make." Before we leave this point, sometimes we need to abandon something in our life. We need to sacrifice something in our life for the sake of a bigger thing. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will test us with so many things in our life. You might need to think of the hereafter a little bit. The hereafter, مَا عِنْدَ اللَّهِ جَلَّ خَيْرٌ وَأَبْقَى, is better. What Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has for you, as far as the reward, is better and more lasting. So you see people not wasting their lives, but spending most of their life collecting for the sake of collecting money or gaining something, whatever it could be. But then, how much of fun, gain, success that this thing is going to give you? We know for sure that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives a lot for the things that He approves. So let's shoot after those things. Let's be after those things that Allah Azza wa Jalla approves, because Allah gives a lot. Allah gives, what He has as far as the reward for the believers is far better than anything else that you could spend time for. So he thought, even though he was a poor person or average person at most, but he decided to give up everything for the sake of Allah. But even though من ترك شيئا لله عوضه الله خيرا منه. Here in this life, if you give up something, if you sacrifice something for the sake of Allah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to give you something better than this. Here in this life, before the hereafter. He did not know that after just 10 years, but 10 years of hard work and learning from the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he would be alim, a scholar, qari, reader of the Quran. He would be sha'ir, adib, fasih, faradi. He got a lot of knowledge about everything. That was not it. He would be wali min al-wilayat, one of the governors of not only one place. He would be one of the governors of Sham, and then one of the governors of Egypt. So you're talking about somebody who gained a lot by focusing on the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He was successful in life, and definitely inshallah he got a big share in the akhirah, in the hereafter. let's focus on two parts of his life, al-ilm wal-jihad. He focused in knowledge, gaining knowledge, and he focused in dedicating a big portion of his life for establishing this deen, which is the meaning of al-jihad. Somebody struggled, somebody sacrificed, somebody put effort and time, and even put his life at risk if that's what it takes, for the sake of the bigger purpose of establishing this religion. He was good in both of these. He spent all the time with the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He will go out with him. He will come with him. كان يأخذ بزمام بغلة النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. He used to lead the mule or the donkey of the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم. Wherever he goes, he is with him. Sometimes the Nabi صلى الله عليه وسلم would ask him to ride, and he will take, and the Nabi صلى الله عليه وسلم will lead the animal for him. And he would just listen to him because he didn't want to turn the order of the Nabi صلى الله عليه وسلم. So he was with him day and night. He learned Quran. He had a very good voice that the Sahabah used to listen to Quran from him. At the time of Umar used to summon him, call him, just to listen to Quran from him. He said, read to me. يقول سمعني أمير المؤمنين. I hear, I listen, and he will start reciting. And Umar will start crying, listening to the Quran from him. كان من طليعة الجيش في فتح دمشق. He was at the front line of the army that liberated Damascus. And then, as a gift for him, Abu Ubaidah ibn Jarrah, the leader of this army, would choose him to give the bushra, the glad tidings, to Umar, Amir al-Mu'mineen, back in al-Madinah, in the capital of the Muslim state at this time. He will take it 8 days and nights, and he will go straight, without even a stop, straight to Umar to give him the glad tidings, the good news of liberating this big city. He will be also one of the leaders of the army that liberated Egypt. So this is somebody who is after a lot of good things, and he was appointed later on to be the leader or the governor of Egypt. وعاش حياته بقية حياته في مصر حتى دفن في سفح المقطم ومكانه وقبره معروف قبر سيدنا عقبة ومكان سيدنا عمرو. He was so good in the Quran, so much so that he wrote one mushaf for himself. He wrote the entire Quran. You're talking about somebody who doesn't have a pen and paper like we have nowadays. We take a lot of things nowadays for granted. A pen and paper, just hold on for a while, get a pen and paper. It was not available for them at this time. To write down the Quran, it takes a lot. Not everybody knows reading and writing. We don't have all of these schools. Materials are not as easy to get. They were not there at all. You're talking about skins and bones and things like that. So he wrote the entire Quran, and he had his own mushaf, and it was in Egypt, in his Jami', there was a mosque by his name, after his name, Jami' Oqbah, and he was there until recently, but it was lost amongst millions of good things that was lost, or were lost from the Islamic heritage in general, with all of these colonialism and different things. So he wrote the entire Quran, and he wrote at the end of the Mus'haf, كتبه عقبة. It was written by Oqbah ibn Aamer. شارك في أو كان في الجيش اللي فتح جزيرة رودس في البحر المتوسط in the Mediterranean. He got all the way to this island in the middle of the Mediterranean and also liberated it. And he spent the end of his life, came back to Egypt to spend the rest of his life in Egypt, in Al-Muqattam, around this area. You're talking about somebody who lived with the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You're talking about somebody who made the shift in his life. You're talking about somebody who came from zero to hero, as they say. From being a shepherd into being a leader and a great alim, scholar, and mujahid fi sabilillah, and so many good things. Again, life is a platform that Allah Azza wa Jalla will give me and you and everybody as the biggest gift, and it's up to you to make whatever you want to do with it. You can make so many good things with it, be successful here, and also use it and make use of it to, وَمَا تُقَدِّمُوا لِأَنفُسِكُم مِّن خَيْرٍ تَجِدُوهُ عِندَ اللَّهِ, to introduce something during this life that could be a little here and there, some knowledge, some dedication, some sacrifice for bigger causes that will give you a lot in the hereafter. The example for us is a human being like me and you, somebody who just happened to live a little over 1,000 years before us, but his heritage and his knowledge and his turath is still in front of our eyes. We read about him and other Sahabah and Sahabah of the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Let's follow in their footsteps. May Allah Azza wa Jalla make us follow in their footsteps. Let's quote their lives, the dedication from their life, the tadhiyah, the badl, and all of these good things that they got in their life, giving away for the sake of Allah. and spending time and have the zeal to, you know, they shoot it for al-ma'ali, for the higher goals, they raise the bar so high as far as dunya and akhirah as well. نسأل الله عز وجل أن يرحمه وأن يلحقنا به والصحابة الكرام وبسيدهم وسيدنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم خير الأنام في أعلى درجات الجنة. May Allah make us with the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم and all the companions in the Jannah in heaven. Amen. جزاكم الله خير وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه.